What's up, YouTube? Well, I have to admit, I am way overdue for an oil change. And as I went this morning to gather up oil and filters, I had to wonder, is it really still economic to change your own oil? Is the money savings worth the hassle? So, in the sport of trying to keep the cost as low as I can, I bought in bulk, and I just want to break down really quick how you can change your oil for as low as $15. Okay, now I know I just threw out a really low number and you're saying that's clickbait. There's no way you can do your own oil for $15. I mean, it's like 70 or 80 bucks when you take it to an oil change place. But I'm doing full synthetic, which is the premium type of oil, and I'm gonna do it today on a 2015 Subaru Outback and a 2010 Ford Escape. And a Ford Escape uses 6 quarts of oil, and I have found a 12 quart box at Walmart for $29.97. And just to break that down, that's the lowest cost for synthetic that I've ever paid per quart. $29.97. A box of 12 quarts comes out to $2.50 a quart. So the filter is $8.99. So if I was to do the oil and the filter, I'll only need half the box, and that total cost is going to be $23.97. The interwebs has informed me that sometimes you can get away without changing your filter. So I actually have gotten into the habit of changing my filter every other oil change. So if this was an every other oil change, it would really only need the 6 quarts of oil for $15. But this is the every change. The last one was the other. I skipped the filter. So for today's oil change, it's gonna actually be $23.97.
Clickbait.
With a with a 2015 Subaru Outback, I need 5.1 quarts of oil. I was buying these 5 quart jugs for $33.99, which is, I didn't write it down, so I can't tell you what the price per quart is. But I found today that you can buy 12 quarts of Mobil 1 advanced fuel economy, full synthetic, 0W20, the correct weight. I used to run them both with the same oil. I know that's a no-no. Sorry, Dad. But for $54.97, your price per quart of oil comes out to $4.58. So if I need 5.1 quarts, that's going to be $23.36, about $24 in oil. And the Mobil 1 filter is $9.97. So if I do the oil and the filter, which this is less than half a box I need, it's going to be $33.32. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good rates there, I feel like. So to quickly show you how you could, in theory, change your oil for 15 bucks, I am going to, on both of these cars, we'll go over the cost, which I just did. Next, I'm gonna go over the jacking, how to use car ramps or jack up your car, and then maybe review the tools quickly if I have time. If I don't, just grab a pair of pliers or a crescent wrench, and then finally go over the process of changing the oil. So let's get to it. Okay, so there's a few things in addition that I'm leaving the cost out of the equation on for this $15 oil change. The first one will be these ramps. You'll also need a few basic tools, maybe a funnel and a catch pan for your oil. These are Harbor Freight ramps. They're pretty tall, I like them, and I'm going to show you how to put the car up on the ramps now. Jacking stands, there's some important safety things that I need to go over with. One is chalk the tires and or set the parking brake. Subarus, for some reason, have a lot of play in the drivetrain, and I have dumped this one off of jacks more times than I'd like to admit. Sorry, wife. So, another thing I've noticed, Subarus and Kias, they all tend to have, every car maker except for Ford, it seems to have a very nifty lifting point at the very front up under the bumper. I've already put it, Jay! Every car maker except for Ford, I've noticed. Has a singular lift point on the front of the vehicle. Now, for safety's sake, before I go up under the car, trusting only the jack, I'm going to put some jack stands on the sides to make sure everything is safe. Okay. I'm going to put the stand underneath where the pinch weld is and raise it to the same height as the other one. Make sure they're even. Finally, I'm going to let some of the weight off of the jack and transfer it to the stands. Just to make sure everything is safe. Okay, so pro tip, if you're not working on a good concrete surface, cardboard is going to be your best friend. Now for a 2015 Subaru Outback, and I'm saying this so I know for the next time I try this, you will need a 17mm socket and ratchet or wrench. Another thing to have on hand, paper towels, gloves are even better, and safety glasses, because you will get stuff in your eyes. So let's check it out. Okay, so we got our ratchet. You want to spin it in your hand. Make sure you're in reverse, lefty-loosey. I'll tell you where the bolt is, but really Google Images could do it better. A second pro tip here would be to let your car sit for at least a couple hours before you attempt to do this. Whoops. Well, I broke it loose. And usually try and be a little more graceful than what you just saw. Like I said, the oil is going to be a little warm, so you'll see me backing up as much as I can. And remove the drain plug. And remember where you put this thing. I have lost them before, and that is a nightmare. I'm going to swap from my 17mm socket to my 15mm. Harbor Freight got me covered. And I'm going to hopefully less violently loosen. There we go. This drain pan nut. In this car, my car, I avoided driving this morning, so the oil should not be scalding hot. And in the interest of saving time, I'm going to use a storage container to catch this oil. So I have let it drain for a couple minutes. I put the oil pan bolt or plug back in place, and you just want to make it snug. You don't have to get crazy with it. If it leaks, if you notice your car is leaking oil, then you probably want to go back under there and make it a little tighter. I have had that problem before too. I'm gonna move my oil pan up under the filter. I'm gonna take a shirt, and on Fords, you pretty well do all the work on your back. Right. And yes, there was oil in the filter, so that was a good move. I'm gonna put on my glasses while the oil's splashing and remove the filter. Right there is a close-up of where the filter goes. So, if anyone in the comments wants a FL400S filter, I now realize that I probably bought this thinking it would fit and it didn't. Now I'm stuck with it. So once you do that, go ahead and pull your old filter out, wipe it off, and put it back on, because I'm about to run it for another oil change. There we go. You just want to be careful when you change these out not to drop contaminants and into the oil receiving area. Actually, I'm just not even gonna touch or wipe or chance dropping anything in there. And just making sure that that seal, this seal is still on this filter and this rubber seal is right here. And for the sake of sealing, put a little oil on it and screw it on hand tight. Just to be clear, I have put the oil pan plug back in the Subaru, and I got it pretty tight. You'll want to do that before you add the oil back in. So if you'll look closely here, we have an yellow cap that says engine oil. They will almost always now tell you what weight oil to get. The brand is up to you. Just for the sake of the video, I'm not going to spill oil everywhere. I got a funnel. I have absolutely cleaned this funnel inside and out to the best of my ability, because the longevity of your engine is dictated by the cleanliness with which you do this. I have looks like just over 4 quarts. I think that'll get me in the ballpark. I will pour this. Oh, and another pro tip, this hole is offset on every quart of oil you'll ever see. And the reason is because if you try and pour it like this and just get there, you're gonna end up spilling it. You can actually turn the container this way, and with the spout at the top the highest point, you can pretty well get the bottle pretty close to where you want to land the oil, and then start to rotate it, and it will start pouring oil for you in a pretty controlled fashion. Normally no one watches me do this, and I don't use the funnel, and I pretty well paint the engine. Okay, now this next part is pretty interesting to me. I've never seen oil in a box, so this is new for me. It looks like you just punch this out. It says don't use a knife. I get that. Oh, there it is. Cool. I guess it's pretty much like wine in a box. So I'm gonna try and eyeball about a quart of oil. Let's see how this flows. Oh yeah, that's nice. And okay, I think that's a quart. Tell me in the comments how close you think I got. So now I will basically go off the dipstick to check the oil level, and when I see it's in range, I'll know I'm good. The last step will be to put the cap back on the engine firmly and lower the car off the jack stands, and this car will be done. Oops. Y'all didn't see that. So I may not get a perfect 2 oil changes out of 1 box. Okay, I can see that the bag is starting to get low. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this off. I think I'm somewhere around half. I might be over half. Oh, I'm nervous. I'm gonna get the car off of the ramps, check it on a level surface. I want it to be just a little bit low of what I need. If I'm a little bit over, I'll drain a little bit out. We'll see where we're at. Okay. So everything looks good on the Outback. For about $32, I got this car taken care of. It's good for another 5,000 miles. It went off without a hitch. I'm really proud of it. Over here, I tried to put $15 worth of oil and a filter in the car. I failed on the filter. Put about 17 bucks worth in it. Spilled about $1 on the ground. You guys let me know. What do you pay to have your oil changed, and is it worth it? It took about an hour or two of my time. I spilled a little oil on the ground, on my hands, on my engine. So you let me know what you think. Is it worth it still? Is it whatever. Is it worth it to go have your oil changed or change it yourself? You guys let me know, and thank you for watching. Y'all have a good day.